Hello, all. Welcome back to Be a Creative. It's that time of year again. It's when I drop 8 videos over the next 8 days leading up to Hanukkah for our 8 crazy tags of Hanukkah series. Now, last year I made all 8 tags using one stamp set, some Simon Hurley dies, and my Cricut. And that shit was hard. So this year I actually bought 2 new Hanukkah stamp sets, one from Altenew and this one that I'm using right here and right now for our very first tag by Casual Friday Stamps. And I have to say, I was super impressed with both of these stamp sets. This one from Casual Friday had this super modern and kind of blocky feel to it. I'm not sure if you guys can pick up on that in the 30 seconds I gave you to look at the stamp set. My bad. But you just trust me, it does. So I kind of let that inform the background of my tag. So what I've decided to do was to take almost all of the stamps and stamp them out on some index weight cardstock. I'm using VersaFine Clear ink so I get a really nice black stamp. Obviously, it's just really nice. It's pigment ink. You guys know. I'm not telling you anything you don't know. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp out everything and then cut it up following the kind of natural blocky shape of the stamps. And you can see I have them all cut up, and now you can kind of tell what I'm talking about. Kind of proud of myself. I did not freehand this because I did need it kind of exact, so I cut it out using my Fiskars cutter, which I'm taking as a sign that I'm maturing as an artist, starting to make grown-up decisions instead of just winging it and cutting it, which always winds up crooked. Anyway, so I am using the natural blocky shapes and kind of piecemealing them together like they're puzzle pieces. I'm not too worried if it doesn't cover the whole thing. Some of them were hanging off the side of the tag. I just cut those off. I did use Distress Collage medium to get them collaged down, but now I'm going over them with a pretty healthy dose of gel medium because my plan is to cover that with paint and some Distress crayons here in a little bit once it dries. So now I'm going to start working on my focal point, and this is a super quick tag. In fact, all of the tags that I'm going to drop during the series are super quick and they're not very complicated. So confession, I used the tall text from Tim Holtz to stamp out my sentiment. This was not my first attempt at this. I had originally intended to use the shadow dies that he has, but because I don't measure anything, those don't fit. But these tall text stamps were absolutely perfect, and I was able to perfectly stamp out my sentiment in that great distress look that it has. So now that my tag is good and dry, I'm going to start with my first layer. For this particular tag, and really all of the tags in the series, I'm using a lot of non-traditional Hanukkah colors. Usually it's blue and silver, but this year I wanted to be a little different. So I have some Distress Crayon in walnut stain, I believe that's what it is. As always, check the description box below for a list of the full supplies. And because I put that gel medium down, I'm able to really kind of smudge it around and give it this really nice distress look. Right now in this moment, however, it doesn't look great. I know that. Just hang in there with me because the background really starts to come together when I start adding more color to it. This is nothing new than any other time we kind of add color and paint over a collage background to give it texture. The only difference is I don't want to cover up the entire background. I want it way more visible than what we normally leave it. And that's primarily because of my sentiment, which is the traditional greeting of Southern Jews. Shalom, y'all. So because of that, I really want all the Hanukkah-ness to pop through in the background. So I have a little bit of speckled egg in Distress ink because even though this is non-traditional, I needed to add just a little bit of blue. I couldn't help myself. It just needed a little bit of blue, and that's such a great color. This still kind of looks like crap, but this is where the magic happens, and it's always this way, don't you guys think? As soon as you start adding that white in, over top of all the messiness, it kind of just pushes everything back and it all starts to come together. I prefer to use my finger during this part because I'm just not thrilled with the results that I get from a brayer, and my finger, I just have more control over it because it's attached to me. Thank you, Captain Obvious. You're welcome. So I'm adding just a smidge more white just to kind of, again, tie it all together before I add my sentiment. I was totally digging the text in that tall text stamps, and I just thought it looked fantastic. but it still needed something. So I have a couple of pieces of torn up Dina Wakley collage paper that I'm using to create almost like a shadow, because it's that really harsh black and white. I mean, you guys can see it. I don't know why I'm describing what you're literally looking at. But it almost gave like this shadowy effect behind it, which I thought was perfect. I was a little heavy-handed on the edging for the sentiment though, but that's okay. I'm finishing the tag off with some of those Holtz Idea-ology velvet ribbons, which I'm totally digging. I think it's the velvet. It reminds me of a Elvis Presley velvet painting, which would be an amazing Hanukkah gift. Anyway, this is our finished tag for tag number 1 in our 8 crazy tags of Hanukkah series. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow. Hey, here's some more videos that you might like, and please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button so that you can see more of my content.